everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I've got a Dollar Tree craft that I want to do. I went shopping, looking for some items, trying to think of an idea, and I found some things here and I want to go ahead and put them all together. So I am going to be making a fall wall decor. So this is going to have some little jars with some little flowers in them, and I'm going to create them with the supplies that I have here in front of me. I've got some rulers. They've got like back to school items right now, and they have this pack of 2 like wooden rulers, and if you look at the back of them you can see that they just have a wood finish, and the front of course they have little measurements, but there's 2 in every packet, and I thought that's a really great deal for these rulers. And of course I started looking at the back of them, and then I thought, oh, these could be used for something besides it being a ruler, because I was actually looking for some supplies, not for school, but for my, for my little office here. So I grabbed 5 packages of these, and so I have 10 rulers, and I want to create something out of that. And I wanted some little jars to put on it, to hang from it. So I found these also, and well, these were in their fall collection that just got in. These are little craft bottles. They're plastic. There's really no weight to them. If you want to use little glass jars instead, go right ahead. But I want to use 4 of them, and I thought, well, this is going to be a lightweight item, so I don't want anything too heavy. I think these little plastic ones are going to be great. I probably won't use the, well, I won't use the lids, but we need the little jars. So then I need some little flowers in there, and they have, some floral for fall there also as well. And I've got these 4 bundles. or bushes, these little mini mums, kind of a rust or burnt orange color. This is my favorite. My second favorite color is a burnt orange, and my most favorite color is like a powdery baby blue. Okay, so Queen Anne's lace here, and these are also have kind of a rust peachy color to them. I like that. It coordinates really nice. And this one says it's a filler bouquet, so it's just some little flowers with some yellow and a little bit of orange on them. And then I think this is wheat. Yeah, wheat. And there you can see the colors that it has. So this will all coordinate really well. I also had some rope. This I already had at home. I didn't buy this at I bought this at Hobby Lobby, not at the Dollar Tree, but they do have twine there at the Dollar Tree. You'll find it where they have like the hardware stuff, so if you want to look for that. And I believe it's a 3-pack that they have. It's like a natural color, probably a green, and I don't remember what the other color. I keep thinking it's maybe like a red, but anyway, they do have twine there. I went to their floral area because I thought, well, maybe I need some styrofoam. I know I have styrofoam and I have some scraps, but I always run out, so I could always use styrofoam. I got this little 4-pack. There are 4 little tiny little bricks in there. I'm gonna barely use any of it, so this is a really good deal. I've got some raffia. I might use that. And then I got this Excelsior. I was gonna get the Spanish moss, but I decided to go for a like more fresher, happier color, so that's why I chose that. Okay, so we're gonna put these items aside and we're gonna open up our packages. I'm gonna cut up my flowers and just take everything out of these packages, and I shall be back. Alright, so I've removed all the lids from the little jars. I'm gonna go ahead and save these little lids. I think I have a little project idea for those in mind. So anyway, I have these little bottles without the lids now, and I've opened up everything. I use my wire cutters. You're gonna need wire cutters and scissors. Use my wire cutters to cut up all my stems and all my bushes, so now they're all single stems like this. So I may use just a few of these, and the rest I can save them for another project. But they are ready, nice and cut up, and I use my scissors to cut up all the other packaging of items. Anyway, so I opened up these rulers, and I don't remember which one it was. I was looking at them because, I'm going to use this side to show in the front, and I don't need this, so that's going to be in the back. But when I opened one of them, I don't know which one it was because it was lifted and now it's not. But this part here, these strips here, they're just like, oh, there we go. Yeah, here we go. They're just like stuck on there. Look at that. And they come right off. I mean, you could save these and put them on something, so that you have those little measurements saved for something else. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to put them here on the side of my counter. There you get an idea right there what you can repurpose this. I got some inches here, measure it out, so I don't have to pull out a ruler. Maybe I can just measure it up against this. So anyway, so now that I've taken them off, this looks pretty cool. It's got that, you know, it's got a little bit of a lift right here in the middle. This part here is lifted upward so that when these little strips were laying on here, it was all like smooth and level. But once I removed them, it goes down a bit, so it has a little bit of a texture, little raised texture to it. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I'll just go like this so maybe you can see it. But I like that now for the front rather than the flat. So I'm going to go ahead and remove them all off of these. And I'm going to save some because now I can put this other inches here. I don't need the centimeters. I already saved one. So I'm just going to take all of these off. And then I'll be back again and we'll get to crafting. Okay, so I'm back. I've decided to take 2 of these, and every ruler has a punched hole on one end. It doesn't have it on both, it just has it on one, so I guess it's easy to hang it somewhere if you need to hang it off of a hook or a nail or something. And I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that there is a hole there. I'm going to put my scissors in my... I'm going to also be using my hot glue gun, by the way, and my glue sticks. Use your glue, that's your choice, to hold all this together, that you trust. Like I've said before, I usually end up taking a lot of things apart, so that's why I just hot glue them. Now, the rest of the sticks, they do have the little hole on them, but I'm not going to worry because I'm going to put these 2 over, so it's going to hide the little hole, but I do want the top ones because that's going to be a great place to put some rope or some of that raffia, the raffia through it and kind of create a wall hanging. So I'm going to put these here, and it doesn't matter which side has a little hole. It can be on both sides. It doesn't matter. We're going to cover them up. They're a little sticky because of the glue that was on there from those little strips that I pulled off. So I'm going to put these together, line them up like so. And then, okay, when I did this, when I was looking at it in the store, I separated them because I wanted the little separation between them. But now that I thought about it, I want the little holes here. Of course, I still like the idea of the little separation between them. So I'm going to take out a couple of them and separate these a little bit. I'm going to do one side here, so okay, so maybe I can put, I think I can go ahead and I'm going to add another one in here, and then we can get these a little closer. I'm going to put this one here. This is just a little testing because I'm actually going to end up turning them around. Okay, I actually can go a little bit higher on that one, so then they can be a little more separated, more like a little fence, and I really like that. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these around so that this nice little pretty little indentation that it has here is actually facing the table or downward, and then I'm going to, is that what I'm going to do? Haha, yes, because I'm going to turn these around as well, and I'm going to do one side first. So I'm going to turn them around, and then I'm going to put them on here and glue them down as soon as I have them spaced out the way that I want. Okay, and then let me go ahead and start off with one. I'm going to turn it this way, guys, because this way I can look at it. So I'm just going to start off with the very top one because that'll help me decide, you know, how far up I want it. So I'm going to put some glue. Oh, you know what? I'll be back because my hot glue gun was not on, and I shall be back. And oh, and by the way, I decided that I do want to paint them, so I went ahead and I pulled out some paint, and I have this, it's a Martha Stewart paint. I bought this on clearance, well, not on clearance, but kind of a sale price at a Tuesday morning. So you can use any paint you want. Use some chalk paint, that might be pretty. This is a Martha Stewart craft paint, and the color is, what is the color? It says High Court Fledgling. It's 8 ounces. So this is the paint that I'm using. Yeah, like I said, use whatever. It is just an acrylic paint, water-based paint that I'm going to end up painting all these with. So I'll be back. Okay, so my hot glue gun is hot, And I'm actually just trying to align these two rulers and seeing where this top piece of ruler, or I'm just going to call it a ruler because that's what it was, this little wood ruler. And so that I've already hot glued it on one side, so now that I know where I want it over here, I'm going to add some glue. Use plenty of glue, but not so much that it just, you know, starts oozing out. Okay, there we go. So now I know that is where I want the top one crossing over on these two side ones, and then I've got this free so I can put string through these and hang it. It's gonna look really cute. Okay, so now I've got to decide where I want the other ones to go, but I'm going to put down the very bottom one first, and then I'll space the other ones somewhere in between. What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to give this a little bit of a, like a footing down here, a little bit of a foot. So I'm not going to line it way on the very edge of it, but rather just a little bit higher. So that's where I'm going to glue this one. And there we are, right there. Okay. So we've made this little, like a little frame here, okay? All right, so then I know that one of them I wasn't gonna use. I probably should have left it as a ruler, but it's okay. I can use it as a paint stirrer or something else, or maybe I'll find some use for it. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the other ones, and remember we want that little texture, the little bit there. I'm gonna put this way for myself so I can see how I'm spacing them. They might not all be like perfectly even. So I'm going to put these here for now. I'll move them around as I need. So you just got to do that, put them in there, and then just start spacing them. Let's see. Okay, so I like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, you know what would be a good idea is to get a pencil and then mark. Make your little markings. Let me go ahead and do the other ones. Yeah, am I happy? Yeah, that one could be a little bit more forward or upward a little bit. Okay, so I'll do the markings on these as well, so that I know that they need to be within those pencil lines. And they're not perfect, okay, but you know, it's close. Okay, so we're gonna put some, and don't worry about how they move around because you've done your little pencil markings. So I know that it needs to fall between them. And to just feel that it doesn't, you know, come out too far over on this side. The same over here. Perfect. Okay, next one. Alright, so I've got the last one on here, and there we go. They're spaced out pretty good. We're going to turn it around this way. And here is the front. So I'm going to take this piece of cardboard that I have, or you can use some paper or whatever, something to protect your, hold on, let me turn this around a little bit. Sorry. Okay, so I've taken this piece of cardboard and I've just put it on here to protect my table, because now I want to paint this, and I'm going to give it a coating of this paint first. Right here. I've already used it, so it's already popped open here. Okay, so I'm going to use this paint. And I'm going to give it a dry brush on it. So I'm going to take paint, but then I'm going to take some of it off the brush, and then I can just, you know, just kind of get it on here. And it doesn't have to be coating it all completely, okay? Just a little bit. There we go. I do want some of that, the wood grain that's on the ruler to show through, so, on the wood. So that's all I'm doing, just giving it that kind of a effect. I'm not giving it a full coverage. If you want to give it a full coverage, you go right ahead and do so. You can also come in maybe with some extra colors, some browns or whatever, maybe some baby blues or a little orangey color, and give it another, like a bit of a kind of a dry brush over that. Give it another look if you want to do that. I don't know if I'm going to, but I'll keep this here to the side. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm not finished with painting it because I decided to go ahead and add some of that brown that I had to it. So I just put some here on the little cardboard piece, and I'm picking some up while, you know, I still have some of this other paint that's still kind of wet, and kind of just mixing it a little bit and then slapping some off and then just brushing it over. I didn't want the dark brown, but once I mixed it, I liked the effect and the color, so that's what I'm going with. And it's just a dry brush. Pick up as little bit of paint as possible, and it's like you're cleaning your brush on it, really what you're trying to do. And just kind of giving this sort of a little bit of a dirty look, but more weathered, I should say. That's a better word, right? And we got two more little bits here to do. And I'm kind of pushing the brush like in there where I think, you know, like dirt would like collect in there and get it dirtier. So let me get a little bit more of this brown because I'm running out. Just a tad. Mix it up with the other one. And there we go. And just do a little bit of the sides here. That looks fantastic. And there we go. That's good enough for me. That's the look that I've decided to give it. I'm going to allow this a few minutes to dry, and I'll be back so we can make the rest of our decoration. Alright everyone, I'm back. This is completely dry, and while this was dry, I got a little bit of ahead of myself, and I decided to put the twine around the edge of these little bottles to give them a little decorative look. I got a little too ahead of myself, and I was going to leave one so that I could do it in the camera, but basically what I did is I just put down some hot glue, put down the end, and then just started rolling the twine around the mouth part of the jar where, you know, the lid screwed on. And ever so often I put some glue to hold down as I was going around. And then of course I just made it to the very end, glued it down, and that is all I had to do with that. So then I also decided that I also wanted an extra piece of twine because I feel like I want to tie them down onto my little wall fence, I guess I'm going to call it. It's like a little garden gate kind of, you know, a little fence bit. So I'm going to tie them down there, but I think when I tie them down I want to have a little bow here in the front, and I've been trying to decide if I want to use the rope or if I want to use the raffia to tie it on. I think I'm going to go ahead and just skip the raffia because I really like the rope for this one, and I can use the raffia for another project. So you can just nix that at the beginning of supplies for this particular project. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and cut enough of this to not only go around the mouth here of the jar, but enough to also go around here in the back, and also enough length to do a little bow. So cut enough of it. Give yourself slack to be able to do all of that. So I'm going to put this rope through here. bring this up here. I think this will work. You know, what I'm going to do is, look, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to get the rope, try to even it out here. Okay, so at the bottom edge of the first ruler, or first plank, I'm just going to make a little knot. Tie that on there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And I kind of like this part for the front. It doesn't really matter. I just noticed it's got a little bit of a gap over here, so I just want to hide that to the back. And then I'm going to put this around it, tighten it. And if you want to feel really secure, add a little bit of glue there. And then tie right there, so that'll stay. And then you can make a little bow and tie that down. And then you could just trim the excess strings, or if you like them in that length, leave them. Just gonna cut off a little bit so that you can have that hanging off like that. Okay, so I also want to put the next one, but this one I want to do it on the next plank down, so I don't want them at the exact same level. So I'm going to go down one plank, tie that down right there. This one under the here, and I'll probably go with this plank right here. And then I'll go down one for this next one. This will hang off a little bit, but that'll be okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of hang them. Maybe I'll move this a little bit that way, this one here, and then this one over here, so that they're also like spaced differently, not just, you know, going straight up and down. So that's what I'm going to do. The same way I did this one, do these other three, and I will be back. Alright, as you can see, I've got the 4 jars attached to my little fence, and in order to keep them also from dangling around, I also added a little bit of glue behind here so that they wouldn't, you know, move around way too much. But if you're okay with that, then you can just go ahead and leave them. But because mine are really light, they're little plastic ones, and I feel like this is appropriate because this isn't like a super sturdy little board that I made, so I don't want to put anything heavy, like I said in the beginning. But also, it's also a seasonal decoration, so this is going to be taken down and put away if I don't reuse the part, so it'll be put away, so I don't want to have to worry about, you know, any glass breaking. So this is why I think, you know, these little plastic jars are also appropriate for this particular project. And it's really super light, you guys, super light. Okay, there is some substantial weight to it. I don't know if it even weighs a pound or not, but it's not heavy. So anyway, the next thing I'm doing is I'm taking this Excelsior, or if you want to use Spanish moss or green moss, you can put that in there. Now, you can skip this completely, and you can skip putting any flowers in there if you want, or maybe just put flowers in one of them, and you can put some little tea lights inside of the other ones, little candles, or maybe even the battery operated lights. Maybe you want to run the little string through here, maybe attach the little cartridges with the batteries in the back so that you don't have to see them, or just hide them in there with some of this Excelsior. Hide the battery pack, and then let the little, you know, wrap it with some of this, and then wrap the little lights around the Excelsior or your moss, and then just stick them in. And that will be a good way to also decorate these little jars, or maybe you want to leave them empty. Just put one little item in there. Okay, so I'm going to fill these up as much as I can. And then I'm going to lift it to make sure anything that's not in them just comes off. There we go. And of course, if you got any little bits that are sticking out too much, you can just get your scissors, give it a little trim like that. Just, unless it doesn't bother you, then don't worry about it. Okay, now I want to put some flowers in them because I said this was going to be like a little floral arrangement in little jars. So I'm going to get some of this styrofoam. Now, I didn't put the styrofoam inside of the jar because it's a lot of work to try and hide the styrofoam, so I wanted to make it easy. So I'm actually just going to fit the styrofoam at the very top part of the little jars, the little bottles here, And I feel like it's kind of odd to call them jars because they're not made out of glass. They're plastic jars, but okay. Anyway, you're going to put the little styrofoam just up here. So that's a good reason also why we put this rope here, so you're not going to see the green of the styrofoam. So we want to go ahead and cut some little pieces. And I'm going to cut this one in half so that I can compare. And I'm just going to push it in a little bit so I can get an indentation of the size here. And then I can just remove that, just like that. And I also know that it's going to be a little too long because we don't want this to be pushed in there and then it's showing off in here or on the top. So I'm actually going to then now, I'm going to use my little craft knife. It's just a regular little cutting knife that I got from the Dollar Tree. I just call it my little craft knife because I use it here. I'm going to cut this in half. So now I've made 2 pieces, one that can go in another jar. So just going to move the little rope, make sure all that Excelsior is in there. And then just put some glue on the sides here, on the inside. And then just push this little styrofoam in there. And just push it carefully. Because you don't want any pieces breaking. And then they fall into your jar and it makes a mess. So just push it in as much as you can. If any of it is still sticking out, just give it a little gentle shave with your knife. Like that. Okay. So you see that in there? That's what you want. So then you want to do all of them the same way and then let them dry. And if you need to put a little bit more glue on the edges here, go right ahead to make sure that it's nice and sturdy in there, but don't put any on the top because we're going to push some little stems into it and we're going to be very careful about that as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and put styrofoam on all the inside parts of the top part of the my little jars. As a matter of fact, I gotta fix this string here because it's not glued down right here. Okay. Make sure that the outer piece of string that you put, very last one that you rolled around, make sure that all of it is glued down so that you don't get little bits stick out. Okay, so I'll be back. And here it is. They all have the styrofoam in them, and I've gone ahead and I've created one little arrangement in one of them just so that I could know how to tell you to put this on here and what would look best. So before I continue and putting the rest on these, I'm going to put some strings that I can hang it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this string that I've already cut. You can cut whatever size you want. If you want to use a ribbon, use a ribbon. So then I can decide how far I want this string to be. Let's turn this sideways so you can see here. Like that. I think that's good. So then I can just go ahead and knot it. Make it look as pretty as possible. Make a little knot right there. And then I can just trim this off. Now, I probably suggest that you keep it on the whole like spool, and then feed it through, bring it over here, and feed it over here so that you can make your little knot, and then you can pull this, and then you probably don't have to waste. Like I just cut off a piece, a good lengthy piece, and you don't have to waste that. So leave it on the stein or roll or whatever it's on. Is it stein or stein of yarn? I don't know what it's called, but anyway. There we go. We're going to make a little knot on this side. Make sure that's good. Yes. If you want to put a little bit of hot glue in there, go right ahead. Cut it off. Or if you wanted to, you could also cut a little bit of extra rope and then maybe tie it around here. Make little bows like I did here. But I think that's enough bows everywhere. So this is just a good little look here to hang it. There you go. So you can see it like that. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do the little floral arrangement. So as you can see here, I put 3 of the different little flowers in here. So I'm going to start off with the mums. And we don't need them to be this long. So I'm going to push this green, the leaf on it, as far up as I can. And then just maybe give it about, I I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch length on the stem there. Do you see that? Just a little bit of length. We don't want it to be so deep it goes all the way in, because if you do that, you might push some of the styrofoam, you know, because when you poke it through, you're making a little hole. So you're pushing the styrofoam piece that's coming out of the little hole into your little jar, and you might have a mess in there, and you don't want to have that. So just a little bit, just enough to go into the styrofoam. I am putting a little bit of glue on the tip there of the cut off stem, and just pushing it in. There we go. Fix your little flowers to make sure they're not, like, you know, stuffed under the other little jar, just like that. And now I'm going to cut this other little flower, push everything up, and again I'm going to cut it as short as I can, maybe 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, little pieces there, because I do also have this little bit here from this little plastic thing that also, so that altogether that's about maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. Okay, I'm going to go off a little bit to the left of the jar and push this in as far in to where the leaves are now flat on the styrofoam, and that'll help cover the styrofoam. Okay, so I'm going to take this other flower, and this one I'm not even going to bother like with the leaf. I'm just going to cut it as short as I can. And it's got this plastic here before this little stem piece was stuck in there. So, but you want that in there because that's hard and it's wired and it'll push through. But you could actually just remove it and just push that in. But this kind of, this little hard bit of stem makes it nice and sturdy to push in. Okay, so there we go. Let's put some glue on that one. And then just push it right there. Let me get a little more to the edge here. There we go. And a little bit kind of, you know, at an angle. And then I'm just going to tuck this little leaf under there, and then what would be a good idea is to put a little bit of glue on the leaf and just kind of glue it down so it stays in place, and then it just covers up the styrofoam. See how pretty that is? Okay, so I'm going to do the other two. Okay, and this time I'm going to put, instead of putting this little flower on this side, I'm going to put it on the other side. If you want to get even more little bushes of flowers, more variety, then you can mix and match and just make them each different. You don't have to make them all with the same exact flowers. Especially when you're there, you're like, oh, I like all these little flowers, I don't know which ones. Well, get a little bush of every one, and maybe you only have to cut one stem off of each bush, you know, to do your little, complete your little jars. And then, of course, you can save the rest of it for some other little floral projects, and everything will coordinate. I like the idea of making this again, but with just a little little tea lights, or little battery operated candles. Let's see, right there. How to get this leaf? Well, don't worry about it. Let me get this on here first. Every time I go off to the side is because I'm putting hot glue on the little stem, okay? All right, now this other little flower. Cut that off. This filler. Whoa, caught it just in time. Okay, and then I can put some glue on some of these leaves here to bring them down and cover the styrofoam. This one here in the front. Okay, get these glue webs off. Okay, and I also had this other one that was the wheat, little wheat, or this one right here. Oh boy, this one. So I'm going to cut a couple of these. I'm also not cutting them. I'm not cutting the stem very long, as you can see on that. And I'm gonna reach in here. So one's sticking out here, this little corner here. I'm gonna take another one, and I'm actually going to save my leftovers for another little project. See, I've got these bits left over. It's not a lot, but you know, it'll do another little project. Okay. And I'm going to take this other one that I've cut, and I'm going to put it on the opposite, but on this side of, on the bottom. So I have a little weed there as well. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? There we go. And that is a completed wall hanging as a fall. I'm going to call this, I don't know what I said in the beginning of the video, but I think I'm going to call this a fall floral, or yeah, little fall small jar floral wall hanging, something like that. Okay, and this is a Dollar Tree project, and yes, I know that the rope, the rope was not from the Dollar Tree, but they do have twine there at the Dollar Tree. So this would be a complete, and they do have some paint, so you could do that, or just leave them the way they are. But I mean, the majority of this is all Dollar Tree. So I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Forgive me for not standing up and showing you this, but I will pan the camera on it at the end of the video so you can see it all. All right, make sure you give me a big old thumbs up. Thank you to everyone who has been subscribing. If you're new, or if you're just visiting, or you've returned, please subscribe. Hit the little bell, the little notification bell next to the subscribe. Or if you've already subscribed and it says subscribed, hit the little notification bell next to it so that you can be notified of when I put up my videos, which is every Tuesday and Friday. And I also sometimes set up a weekend vlog. So that's it, everyone. Leave a nice comment down below, share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.